Welcome to APA's weekly webinar series. My name is Billy Zydick, Standards and Codes Administrator for APA. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. The webinar recording will be posted to APA's webpage later this afternoon. You will receive a follow-up email in the next couple of days with a link to the webpage where all webinar recordings are housed, as well as a link to our upcoming webinars and COVID-19 town halls. We have webinars planned out through December 2020, and many are open for registration. All attendees are in listen-only mode. Please type your questions in the chat box, and they will be answered in the order they are received during our Q&A session. If we run out of time and we still have questions, responses will be sent directly to the person asking the question by the presenter. Professional continuing education credits for ISDs, PDHs, and AIA-CLUs are being offered. For AIA certificates, please send an email to billie@apa.org with your membership number. The number of webinar attendees needing certificates are growing, and getting certificates might take me a couple of days to complete. At this time, it's my pleasure to turn this over to Haresh Jauhari. Haresh, take it away.
Thank you for the introduction. My name is Haresh Jauhari, and I am a digital services portfolio manager for automation services as well as IoT services. I am an electrical engineer working with building automation systems for about 24 years in various roles like project manager, energy engineer, operations manager, and currently as a portfolio manager. I've been working with Siemens for about 13 years, and I also worked before with Schneider Electric as well as Honeywell. I'm assuming everybody is at home. I am at home as well. I have done my best to keep silent around the room and in my office. I apologize in advance if for some reason there's some noise. So I would like to share today is how system performance monitoring can help organizations like yours to optimize your building through smart building approach. You know, we have all experienced in one way or another how technology have improved our lives at home. And what we seen is customers are also expecting technology to improve their lives outside home, at their workplace and communities they are part of. The reality is that this is not that far away as technology continues shaping how people interact with their environments. Now, let's give it a look to the changes that we are going to be facing during the next 1 to 10 years. We are expecting that 50% of staff will be retiring in the next 10 years. And what does that really mean? We do know people get retired all the time, but when you look at 50% of the staff, that's really a big impact that will represent a lot of knowledge on how buildings are managed and how buildings are maintained, how systems work. And having this 50% of staff will represent a big challenge for building owners. We also expect a 7 to 21% increase in HVAC vacancies. And also already we see that 50% of our workforce are millennials, which is changing how customers perceive value, but also how customers will consume data and what are their expectations from a user experience perspective. Also, we do see that only building related data represents 37.2 zettabytes when only 4 years ago it represented 1 zettabyte. And if you are wondering what a zettabyte is, there's a lot of zeros, but it's pretty much 6 trillion byte is a lot of data that has to be managed. Now, the reality is that many times there is an excessive production of data that if it's not managed properly, it really becomes a burden for building owners. It is this enormous amount of data plus the changes in the workforce that is keeping many of our customers awake at night, wondering how to manage all of this. On top of that, there is a shortage of skilled workers that will have to replace those that are retiring, for example. More and more, we see customers struggling with getting the right personnel to manage their facilities. And many times they come to us to ask for help because of the challenges of these changes are representing to their organizations. So when we look at into all the changes that we are facing and that will come in the future in the workforce, we really need to evaluate how people will interact with their environments in the future. How are we going to address issues like related to safety and security? How are we going to be driving operational efficiencies or adopt automated deliverables and manage data expectations? These are things that are actually driven by people, but in the future, we will leverage technology combined with people to enable them to better manage these challenges. Now, let me share with you some of the trends that we have observed in higher education. Things like changes in student demographics, as well as organizations' commitments to reduce emissions as part of their sustainability plans. But very relevant to the current COVID-19 crisis is the changes that relate to digital and online learning, as well as IT infrastructure management, which these days, due to the reduced personnel at customer sites, is even more relevant to leverage technology that will enable customer business continuity by utilizing technology like remote connectivity, remote monitoring, analytics to manage and optimize facilities at the same time that customers have to face the pressure to reduce budgets. So the question is, how smart buildings can help customers obtain a competitive advantage. You can see some of them listed here, things like reducing capital and operating expenses, enhancing the space and asset efficiency, increasing faculty productivity, optimizing safety and security, and driving student enrollment growth. These are some of the ways smart buildings can impact higher ed organizations, amongst many others. So when you look at a smart campus, the business value that they're trying to obtain, you need to start thinking of how you can turn KPIs or key performance indicators into outcomes. So in order to evaluate this, you need to start looking at business goals. What are the things that as an organization you are trying to achieve, and how they do relate at the facility level. So on the left of your screen, what you see on top are the business KPIs, typical KPIs. These are not all of them, but things like enrollment and revenue growth and retaining faculty and students and increasing safety for students, as well as driving competitive advantage. What you see on the lower and at the bottom of the screen is these are the things, the KPIs that we can typically see at the facility level. Things like reducing energy costs and optimizing systems and metrics around sustainability, deferred maintenance that can impact the organization's goals, business goals, as well as uptime of systems, and as well as issues related to physical and cyber security. On the right side, what I'm showing you is how, for a smart campus, you can relate what are the facility KPIs that can impact your organization, and how does that value chain looks like. I'm not going to read them all for you, but some of them, for example, if you can optimize lighting levels and reduce the energy consumption and increase the percentage of the time that you are meeting environmental conditions and reducing complaints, all of that has an impact on comfort at dormitories and classrooms, but also you can increase safety for students and staff, as well as you can increase student and staff satisfaction that ultimately will help organizations to meet their overall goals around enrollment growth. If you think about how having an integrated approach to HVAC, where temperature, humidity, pressurization, airflows, and uptime are all coordinated in a way to provide precise control, for example, to laboratories, that can help the universities to be in compliance with specific research processes that can drive research excellence. And of course, that will drive the best faculty recruitment, as well as retaining those professors. And as well, you can see how operational efficiency can be driven, and by having higher satisfaction of maintenance staff, right? By reducing deferred maintenance, and all that can be done by looking at traffic patterns, for example, or tracking assets to determine, what are the areas that require cleaning, and reduce the time associated with that process. So one of the most important meetings that we have with our customers is what we call goal alignment meetings. And this is important because as a smart campus program, you want to start around the goals of the organization, what you are trying to achieve as a business, and how to measure success through KPIs. So the first step, of course, is that goal alignment meeting. This is the cornerstone of the service agreement, because if we can better understand your business objectives, then it's going to be more effective to determine key success factors, and of course then track success based on those key performance indicators. So it is important that as part of this smart campus approach, you choose the right business partner. This is a program, a performance program that will bring together a comprehensive team of building experts. You want to evaluate having the latest analytics tools, as well as a complete end-to-end delivery structure focused on your goals. So when you're looking at a partner, look at things like, this partner has the building expertise. Can they provide analysis and recommendations? Can they understand equipment and how that equipment aligns to your goals and provide outcomes? How you can have proactive actions and properly collect the data required to optimize building performance. And then you also want to look for a partner that has the building expertise around automation, fire security, mechanical system, holistic approach to all of these aspects of a building, and as well as looking at options like condition-based monitoring that can allow you to be more effective with your maintenance approach. Also, you want to look at technology. Having the right technology will allow you to perform advanced analytics on your systems, have the right algorithms and trends to understand patterns, how to optimize systems, as well as dashboarding to communicate information to management, as well as the ability to provide performance reporting. Finally, you have to look into a partner that can provide service delivery, right? A delivery and a service that is aligned to your goals, aligned to your KPIs. And this is really an end-to-end process, right? You need to have robust tool sets that can provide data-driven outcomes, outcomes that are really based on your needs and goals. And also, even more relevant these days, a team that has a coordinated capabilities both remotely and on-site. So at Siemens, we call our approach proven outcomes, which all it is a program around your customer goals. So you think about the first step, which is defining your goals. What we actually do is we define the service program around customer goals and key performance indicators. The second step is a program that is defined and delivered based on those same goals and KPIs. So on the operational side and execution side, we want to make sure that everything is done at your facility is aligned with that program. But finally, and most important, is providing the transparency to you of the execution of those services and what is the impact to your facility through outcome-based reporting. Additionally, building owners will find that system performance monitoring can help protect their investments in building systems and equipment. It can help improve the occupant experience in a building. And also, it can reduce the number of people required on site during non-occupancy hours, and also allows for a more effective deployment of full-time team members. This is more relevant even these days when, for the COVID-19 crisis, where a lot of facilities have reduced personnel, and it's important that customers have a way to monitor their facilities, especially critical systems, and be able to take action remotely. So what is system performance management? It allows you to protect your infrastructure, your building performance as well, especially in critical areas. So system performance monitoring can allow you to monitor critical points and alarms or your BAS system and analyze if services and applications that are running properly in their defined states. For example, if you have an equipment and sensors are failing, that needs to be that should be monitored, as well as other operational parameters like temperature and humidity that could fail. Also, when you look at the server health, you are looking at issues related, for example, of hardware components. Do you have sufficient resources, for example, or hard drive space, or memory levels, or CPU utilization that could impact that server? Applications related to, for example, your building automation system or peripherals, field panels that are connected to it, or terminal controllers, are those applications are running properly? As well as you want to look into the network hardware monitoring to ensure that systems are connected as expected. So what are the benefits for you to monitor the system performance? First is maximizing system availability, right? Increasing uptime and the performance of those systems, and protecting your investment. You want to make sure that those systems are performing as designed, as well as if something fails, you can react fast and take control of your system back again. It will increase occupant experience due to enhanced comfort. I mentioned this before, but reducing the number of personnel during non-peak hours is critical, right? Many times we see customers that during non-peak hours, they don't have the personnel with the right skills to react whenever there's a critical event. And what happens is that it extends the time and the duration of that critical event, when you could have solved that issue much quicker by dispatching remote technicians, as well as dispatching on-site when needed. As I mentioned just now, ability to respond quicker and get a reduced total resolution time when there's an issue. Add transparency through reports to understand what are the systems that are providing, are generating most of the issues, and so that we can further focus on those during maintenance activity. More effective of your personnel, even during normal business hours, having them to be able to work on other high priority activities rather than just monitoring systems. It will reduce risk for your organization, as well as it will improve peace of mind. So system performance management is a new approach to building system maintenance. And what it does is it focuses on the monitoring of critical equipment. If you really think of how in our personal life we consider services like credit monitoring, right? Just because of the many data breaches that we experience out there, the same way consumers can engage with a provider to continuously monitor their systems. And that's one of the services that we offer. And we can make sure that your billing automation system is fully monitored and monitor and notify operators if and when there is a critical alarm or whenever there's an event that needs attention. So from a workflow perspective, what you look into here is how a system performance monitoring service will be monitoring all the systems to the left. So you see critical points and alarms, the performance of the server, critical processes that relates to the billing automation system, that if they fail, your BAS will not work properly, as well as any network issues that could be affecting connectivity. You want to consider a secure data transfer to the cloud to ensure that there's no intrusions from people that could do damage. And once the data goes into the cloud, you will have a centralized team. We call it DSC, Digital Service Center, where remote technicians are constantly dedicated to monitor customers' events. From the DSC, then they can decide if there's an issue that has to be addressed based on customer-specific SOPs, standard operating procedures. Once the event is received, the customers get notified that there's an event, but depending on the SOP, the DSC could remote in and address the to solve that issue remotely. If the DSC cannot solve the issue remotely, then you can have someone dispatch on site to solve the issue. All that is doing is allowing for fast response. It is providing transparency on the system performance and abnormalities, but it is also providing the ability to make informed decisions based on customizable data-driven reports, as well as it provides peace of mind knowing that someone is watching over those systems 24/7, 365 days, even during the time that your staff is not available. And this is my presentation for today. I believe now we are going to be opening it up for questions. You can see here, this is my contact information if you wish to contact me directly.
Okay, well, thank you. We have a couple of questions that did come in. They would like to know what DSC stands for.
Yes, so DSC stands for Digital Service Center. The Digital Service Center is a team within Siemens that provides remote services to our customers. It is a dedicated team with remote service specialists across all the US that provides remote response to customer emergencies, but also they provide services remotely. They also provides analysis to FDD analytics, fall detection and diagnostic services for our customers.
Okay, I have someone else that is asking, do you recommend using UVC light decontamination devices, either using handheld or UVC lights on tripods to sterilize?
For sure, those are good measures, especially during this time of this crisis, that could help with optimize, cleaning, ensuring that we have clean air. There are many options out there on this, but for sure, it's a good approach, especially now that there's some conversations about returning back to work. It is important that a strategy around coming back with confidence is followed, right? Making sure that we have the right environment to protect employees. And if you have further questions on that topic, for sure, please reach out. We can for sure help with that.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for some more questions from our audience, if you have any. If there's any other information, oh, here we go. If a Siemens technician is needed to respond on site to an issue discovered by the remote monitoring center, how quickly can the technician be dispatched?
Yeah, good question. So as part of our service agreements, there are several response times that we could include in your agreement, right? It will depend on your needs and specific terms of the SLA. But we have customers that will require us to have 2 hours dispatching, right? And so depending on the needs, we could include that in your agreement. So you could see typically happening is that as you have an issue and the remote technician tries to remote triage the issue, if we still have to dispatch someone, that technician that will go to the site will be better prepared, right? We have all the notes from the remote technician. It might even bring with him or her the right parts to solve the issue, but also we already have all that troubleshooting process available with that information to solve that issue quickly. The reality is that on average, what we see is 75% to 80% of the issues that occur can be solved remotely, which impacts tremendously customers' systems uptime by solving those problems earlier. Also, a technician can bring the system up temporarily while a technician arrive on site. And depending again on the issue, that technician could bring even the right parts.
Okay, thank you. Next question, please define what are included in Siemens Smart Infrastructure, CCTV, fire alarms, fire protection, and what else?
Oh wow, that's a very broad question. There's a lot around that, but yes. So there's a number of things that we can do for CCTV, for example, or security system. I would talk more broadly. There are asset service service models that we can provide that can help you modernize your facility with the latest technology to improve safety to your buildings. For fire as well, there are services that can help you with that. Also, when you look at proven outcomes, our proven outcomes approach also is not only including um, automation, but also expands to security systems as well as fire system. And although it's not in the question, I have to also include IoT services and lighting systems that can also improve and optimize your facility performance as part of a smart building approach.
Thank you. If a university wants to keep analysis on premises, what data visualization tools are available?
Could you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
If a university wants to keep analysis on premises, what visualization tools are available?
Yeah, so good question. So, I guess the question is, as a university, you might want to do analytics on site, in premise. Yeah, so there are many options out there, I would say, and there's some system that you could do performance on site, which might require additional. You should consider the computing power that you might need to be able to do that on site. Our approach with Siemens is doing it in the cloud, which allows also for scalability, especially if you are a large campus and you want to expand across all your different facilities. Scalability of a cloud-based approach is the cloud approach is probably more suitable for that. From a reporting perspective, we see customers that often either prefer that Siemens provide the service for them, so they do the analysis for them, or they consume the data, so they have access to our dashboards, our cloud solution themselves. Although it's a cloud-based solution, they do have access to all that data, to all the results, and they can consume the data themselves. And in many times, what we do is, depending on the customer capabilities, we can have a combined approach where they use the data, but we have sessions where we have conversations around the findings and help them get more value out of the platform. So those options exist. Either the customer themselves utilize the outcome from our platforms, or Siemens provide the analysis using the DSC and provide recommendations through also monthly or quarterly meetings with the customer.
Okay, thank you. What are your thoughts on using ionization for air filtration?
Again, those are all great technologies that can be used. I'm not the expert on mechanical systems. We have for sure technology that can help you with all of that. And I will say, if you allow me and provide some of the contact information, or reach out to me, you have my information here, I can connect you with some of the experts on the mechanical systems that can provide more information on that. But for sure, there's a lot of technology out there that can help with ensuring clean air, and they a lot of them are effective.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we aren't in a major metro area. Are DSCs available for smaller cities?
Yes, it is. The DSC can support you on any place in the U.S. Yeah, as long as we can establish connectivity with your facility, the DSC can support you.
Okay, thank you. Has this technology been implemented in district energy plants? And if so, what are your results?
District energy plants, we have done a lot of work around district energy plants. Now, it will depend on the approach, There's a lot of projects that we have done through our what we call EPS. That is our energy uh, related team that provides guaranteed energy savings when they implement facility improvement measures. I mean, they have been very successful with them, and they can also include analytics and optimization of the district centralized systems as well.
Thank you. There is a concern about the location of cloud data stored. Are yours stored in the U.S. or in China?
No, it's not stored in China. We have services that store data in the U.S. as well as in Europe, and we use sometimes we use AWS for some of the services that where we host data, and some of the data is also hosted in our own Siemens servers in Europe.
Okay, thank you.
But not in China.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying that for us. Follow up to the on-prem question. What is Siemens I'm sorry, I can't say that word today, tool called? We are already a Siemens campus.
So say that again. What's the question again?
What is Siemens visualization tool called? We are already a Siemens campus.
Yeah. So you're already a Siemens campus. You may or may not have access already to what we call the service portal, right? So in the service portal, you can get access to all the service calls that you have made, right? But also you get access to all the activity that has been performed for you. So either is an incident ticket, which is related to an issue that you call Siemens to solve, and also for any maintenance related activities that we are providing for you, so that the service portal will give you that transparency in terms of the activity and calls that you have made to us. And if you don't have access yet to the service portal, please reach out to your client's service manager, your CSM, or your sales rep. They can enable that for you.
Thank you. Are you familiar with any systems or programs that can monitor water usage?
If I am familiar with that, is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, well, so actually Siemens used to have a division. We do have the ability to provide support on water system as well as part of projects. I would say if you reach out to me, I can connect you with the right person on that. But yeah, I'm not deep involved with water systems, but I do know we do have the expertise, and I can connect you with some of the people that can provide you support.
Okay, well, thank you. Does this system run on TIA portal, or is there a different interface?
I will be transparent with you. I don't know what TIA is to be able to respond to the question.
Okay. Hopefully the person who's asking the question can, I have an idea what it is, but I want to make sure I'm right.
I don't want to respond without fully understanding what it is.
What a TIA is. Okay, let me see if we've got any other questions here. Okay, are there particular hardware products that you could recommend for making this remote monitoring system? Also, would this monitor the BACnet for the building automation system?
Can you repeat it again? So what the first question was, if I could recommend, what system I could recommend for monitoring?
Yeah, he's looking for hardware products that you could recommend for making this remote monitoring system. And would this also monitor the BACnet for the building automation system?
Oh, got you. Yeah. So for the first question, right? Typically, what we see is a software related approach, right? Where you install this application within your network, your BMS network in this case, and that software application will then look into the different events that are happening in your facility, and then output that information to the cloud-based servers where the analysis is done. So we typically don't see a hardware approach. We look at a software approach that is monitoring the hardware, like field panels, terminal units, or the server itself. In terms of the BACnet question, there are services that we can offer that monitors the BACnet traffic itself and issues related with the BACnet network, like for example, duplicated devices and things in that nature that can affect your BACnet performance, network performance. But also when you look at monitoring your facility through FDD, for example, yes, there are ways to monitor the BACnet traffic, collect that information. Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sorry, lost you for a moment.
My phone will start ringing on my speaker. So yeah, so I was saying that also, yes, you can monitor your the BACnet network related data and through the analytics platform that we offer.
Okay. Can you provide a recent example of a guaranteed energy savings project?
Well, yeah, so that's what is called performance contracting, right? Model where Siemens can go to your facility and they perform an energy audit. They look into opportunities to optimize your system, either by replacing age equipment that has a low performance, as well as implementing sequence of operations that could optimize your facility performance. And in the process, they also identify, all the savings associated with those improvements, and they guarantee the performance, you as an organization that you will obtain the expected savings from that investment. And they work with you in terms of ensuring that that the system continuously perform as expected, and they provide you with reports that demonstrate what's called typically MMV, measurement and verification reports, to ensure that the system is performing as designed as part of that project.
Okay, I'm not sure we can answer this one here, but we can try. Is there a preferred software you use for automation as opposed to access control?
Yeah, I don't know if we can. I mean, yeah, we use the SIGOCC. That's the software that we use at Siemens for automation services. I'm not sure if that's actually what they're asking, but that's the software that we normally use. You might have a different automation system with different front end. I'm not sure if that is the question that is I am answering or not.
Okay. We'll get that question over
Yeah.
to you so you can read the full context and you can reach
Yeah.
out to the person who asked the question.
Yeah.
And regarding the TIA, someone sent us what that was. TIA portal is an automation system for the Symantec PLCs.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's for our process. There you go. Okay, now that's for the process division where we have PLCs. I am not an expert at all with that product line. I can for sure connect you if that's something that you are interested in.
Okay, well, that looks like the extent of our questions for today. So I would like to thank our presenter, Harish, for taking time out of his busy schedule to do this webinar for us. And as people will notice that this webinar is on a Tuesday, and we're doing these Tuesday webinars for our APA business partners. So I'd like to thank you for being an APA business partner, and I'd like to thank everyone for taking their time today to attend this webinar. And we have a town hall for COVID-19 coming up on Friday. If you have any questions or have not registered for that, please send me an email and I'll get you the registration. Again, have a great day, be safe, and stay healthy. Until next time, thank you. Bye-bye now.